Welcome to part 2 for the prediction series for the Olympic Games that will be coming up within the next few days for the badminton competition. In this video, I'll be presenting to you who my picks to get the medals will be for the women's and the men's singles, arguably the two most hottest disciplines in the world of badminton. Just like part 1, if you missed out on that one last night, then obviously do go and check that video out that came out earlier. I'll leave a link in the description below. But let's get on to the women's singles prediction. We're going to begin off with the women's singles, where I think the flop of the tournament will be Akane Yamaguchi. I just think that she just doesn't look the same Yamaguchi as she did pre-injury. When she got injured the last time in the Asian Games, where it ended up being a season-ending injury, she's never quite been the same. Yes, there was glimpses of when she came back to form, but we've also seen the dark side where she just can't get much out of the game compared to her rivals. And I think that it wouldn't be a surprise if Yamaguchi was to go out before the quarterfinal, because she doesn't have a bye to the quarterfinal straight away. She has to play the round of 16. I'm assuming that's with Supanida Katatong, and Supanida Katatong will be a very, very tough opponent to beat, and very, very capable as well. And then you've also got Tai Tzu-ying, who can really make Yamaguchi work for every point. And I think that that might be just that stretch a little bit too much. And not necessarily a big flop, but women's singles is a very balanced game. Very little upsets are seen within women's singles. And disappointing tournament, Yamaguchi, it won't be a medal for her. Now, to my dark horse of the tournament, I actually think it will be Go Jingwei, because Go Jingwei will be coming out firing in this tournament. For reasons why I think that Go Jingwei can do very well, it's because she's done it at this level of tournament. Not necessarily at the Olympics, but at the Youth Olympics. She has got experience from Triumph. She beat the world number 5 Wang Zii, and yes, that's prior medical problems, but I reckon that in this sort of stage, in this sort of level, it's not very relevant. It really is down to self-determination, and anything can happen at multi-sport tournament, because as we've seen time and time again, there's always that dark horse that will just pop out of nowhere and get to a quarterfinal and a semi-final. And I reckon the draw for Go Jingwei will favour her, and I wouldn't be too surprised if she gets to a quarterfinal. Yes, we just talked about a flop of the tournament going to Yamaguchi. I think Go Jingwei, you got to look at it from a very, very different perspective. And it's not like after the injury, she's never shown glimpses. In fact, we saw it at the Hong Kong Open when she beat Han Yu. You know, took a lot out of her. But the fact that she managed to do it shows that she can still deliver at this level. And I've got full faith that she'll be able to perform in front of the millions that will be watching around the world. Go Jingwei is my dark horse of this tournament. So we now move on to our medal classifications, and arguably 2 of the 3 will be quite easy to predict. But in which order, we will find out in my prediction, starting off with the bronze medal medalist, which I think will be going to the runner-up of last year's World Championships, Carolina Marin. Former Olympic winner herself, won the Olympics back in 2016, but I don't think she'll be doing it this time, because Carolina Marin, she's aged a little bit. She's got that fire, she's got that flair power that we've seen it time and time again. She's also crippled with injuries, but it's about how she comes back from injuries. She comes back from injuries stronger than ever, missing out in the previous Olympics. She couldn't play in Tokyo last year due for that very reason. And I think that will really fire her to get a second medal at the Olympic Games, especially coming from a country who isn't known for badminton. I think that will really benefit Marin. And going towards the run of tournaments where she played the All England, won the All England, she played, Indonesia Open, World Tour Finals, where she's beaten her main opposition around her, will favour her very, very strongly. However, it will not be any more than a semi-final for Carolina Marin. In silver medal position for the Olympics, I think it'll go to Axelsen. I don't think that she'll have enough to beat Chen Yufei in the gold medal position, who I think will be the Olympic champion. I'm just going to say it right now. These two have been battling, yin and yang on the world tour. We've seen it at the Asian Games, we've seen it at the World Championship, we see it in the last 3 times they played in the Super 1000, 750 tournament, big tournament. However, I just think that China, they will have so many good sparring partners, they will have so many good players, Chen Yufei will have a plethora of players to spar with on the run-up to the Olympic, and I think that will massively give Chen Yufei the advantage. On the World Tour, it's different, because on the World Tour, you can spar with whoever you want. You're not confined to a training camp, because everybody's on the same everybody's on the same tour together. Everybody knows who each other are. So I think from that perspective, I think that Chen Yufei has got that extra edge. Not saying Axelsen will be out of this. Axelsen will give her a big run for her money. No doubt about that. But I just think that Chen Yufei losing the Asian Games gold medal, losing the final, will give her just that extra bit more to say, this is what I'm here. I'm here for this. I'm here for this purpose. I'm gonna win it. I'm not saying Axelsen would not win it, but at this moment in time, if you gave me money, you have to put it on Chen Yufei. I'd say it's even Stevens. It's the matter of fine percentages. And Chen Yufei as well, she's done it before. She's won it before. And the fact that she's won it before gives her less pressure, in my opinion. Because Axelsen, this is Axelsen's final piece of the puzzle before she wins everything. At her age, at the age of 22, she would have won everything. And for that reason, a lot of pressure will be on Axelsen. And she might succumb to the pressure. Chen Yufei, having won the Olympic gold medal, will say, okay, I've been in this situation. Let's do it again. Let's replicate it. Which leaves us now with one discipline remaining yet to cover in my 2-part Olympics prediction video, the men's singles. And my God, this could be absolutely interesting. We have got so many contenders. We've got Shi Yuqi, Viktor Axelsen, Zii Jia, Anthony Ginting in the same pool. You've got Kodai, you've got Jonatan Chen, Old Warhorse, you've got Li Xufeng, Jonatan Christie, a lot of players with the potential to do well or badly. And I think that the ones that will do badly, I think it will be Kodai Naraoka. I think he will flop in this tournament, placed in the same pool as Jonatan and needing to play that round of 16 will hurt him in the long run. He's not particularly got an easy group either, because you got Jun Hyuk-jin, who on his day can beat anybody. He could even beat Shi Yuqi if he wanted to, right? And you got Igor Koilio. Igor Koilio is not exactly a bad opponent to start. And while some players might benefit from having a stronger opponent that you can beat but can be competitive, for example, I don't think Kodai will be one of those players. His defensive playing style is rather unorthodox. It'll be hard for him to do anything. I can't see it more than a quarterfinal, if I'm going to be honest, for Kodai. But you never know. I could be wrong on this one. He could go win the gold medal. It's very, very balanced, the men's singles competition. Anybody can beat anybody. We are now in the era where, you know, there's no... Apart from probably 4 or 5 people, not going to name any names, who probably aren't going to be as competitive compared to the likes of the very, very S tiers. But the difference, the margins is a lot more smaller compared in men's singles compared to the women's singles. So in that front, and also Kodai, he's not done well here in the past. He lost in the first round in the French Open in the test event. With all of that being said, I think that Kodai will struggle to do well in this tournament. Which leads me on very, very smoothly to the guy that will beat him in the round of 16. Jonatan will be my dark horse for the tournament. We've seen it at the Thomas Cup. We've seen him beat Axelsen. We've seen him beat Zii Jia. He beat Zii Jia in the team event in the Asian Games. This man is a motor when he is, right? He's got a very, very heavy engine, but that engine, boy, it's like a diesel. It goes fast. When you put the accelerator down, he just zooms. If he gets a medal, he will do very, very well. I personally think he will not get a medal from his potentially final Olympics appearance, but I think that he'll use his experience to get to the semi-final. I'd love to see him do well. A lot of people will. Very, very popular between the badminton fraternity. Now on to the bronze medalists, where the money pays. Zii Jia will be the bronze medalist. He will be the sole remaining medalist for Malaysia. He's a good player, right? However, he's not proven to me just before the Olympic that he can step it up to take on these 2 names that will be ahead, well, that I'll be mentioning later, who I think. As towards the other oppositions, I don't necessarily think he's worse than Kunlavut. I don't think he's worse than Li Xifeng. I don't even think he's worse than the 2 Indonesian players. You have to beat one of them if he wants to get to the bronze medal, at least, if not both of them. Him coming to the second Olympic will benefit him, I think. He'll do well in this tournament, better than round of 16. The draw, you can say that it favours him, but I think he'll be fired up. Malaysia-Indonesia games will be very, very interesting. Never is a boring game. And him against Ginting, 2 fast players who use pace. And I'll be very, very interested to see how these 2 fare out in this tournament. But he will not be better than Viktor Axelsen. Viktor Axelsen will complete his set of medals and he'll come to Paris this year with a silver medal. Yes, he can get the gold. However, I don't think he'll get the gold. Viktor Axelsen is a very, very different player to the player that absolutely wiped the floor in any tournament that you can think of 2 years ago. I've personally said, well, I personally can say myself, I've seen the beginning of Viktor's the beginning of the end when he lost to Pranoy in the World Championships. It's a very, very big upset. He's also lost to Zii Jia, who is not going to be in this competition, sadly. Get well soon, Zii Jia. And I just think that he's not as unbeatable, right? Anybody can beat Viktor. I say that all the time and it sounds very cliche, but it's true. Viktor Axelsen is not invincible. And that's because I think the gold medalist will go to Shi Yuqi. Shi Yuqi is on the form of his life. We've seen it in the Thomas Cup. No words has to be said about Shi Yuqi. Shi Yuqi has been just unbelievable in the way that he has been playing badminton. He starts a little bit slow, but ultimately gets better and better as this tournament goes on, as this game goes on. We've seen him bite into Ginting, we've seen it bite into Zii Jia. Yes, sometimes he can take a little bit of time to gel in. We've seen it with Thomas Jr. pop up, and this is the Olympic. Ultimately, he can lose in the quarter-final round. Still, take nothing away from that. Shi Yuqi will be the gold medalist at these Olympic Games. He's been very, very good. I think he won the Indonesia Open, dominated it. Singapore Open, dominated it. And it's just the perfect preparation to get to that, mission road to Olympic journey. Having not been successful or as successful in Tokyo 2020 will benefit him as well. I think that just same as Zii Jia, he will go on this journey to try to do very, very well. Second time, they say, is the best time for players to come out and shine. And I believe that Shi Yuqi will be one of those that will be shining in this Olympics competition. So those are my predictions for the upcoming 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Now all it is left is the matches itself. Don't forget to join me as I watch through every single game during the Paris 2024 Olympic Games badminton competition from the 27th of July all the way to the 5th of August. And tonight, opening ceremony live on my channel. Do not miss it. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe. Bring on Paris 2024.